What was that song? I don't know if that's a good song. I want to pick next time. Okay. First of all, I'm totally honored to be one of the 10 nominees for Member of the Year. It's a phenomenal group. I am amazed by everybody in the group. I'm amazed by everybody in the community. It's just, I pinch myself that I'm part of MPE. A little background on me. I live in Los Angeles. I run outdoor boot camps. I'm the guy who's always posting on Facebook. Originally, I'm from Michigan. I was born on a pig farm. And somehow, I found my way to LA. I went to college in LA. I was an urban planner for 7.5 years. It was a stable career. It was what I thought I should be doing. I had a pension, had a retirement. It had a steady paycheck. But I always, in the back of my mind, I wanted to be doing something bigger. I was raised, there's a JCPenney photo from my youth. I'm about 7. I was raised by 2 parents who contributed a lot to the world, and I was raised to believe in contributing to the world. So in the back of my head, I wanted to do something big. And that brings me to my mom. My mom is a huge inspiration to me. She was an amazing, amazing woman. She was driven, just absolutely driven to make the world a better place. Before I was born, she traveled to Africa with my father, and she spent 2 years in the Peace Corps teaching health, helping people avoid disease. My father was there building schools and digging wells. After they returned, she taught juvenile delinquents, which is a difficult job to have. And then I was born in 1980. My brother was born in 1983. And so she's got 2 little kids, and she decides that's not enough. That's not what she really wants to do. That's not what she wants to contribute to the world. So she went back to medical school with 2 little rascals, and she became a doctor. So she really gave me a sense of what's possible, what you can do with your life. She shifted, and she became a doctor at 40. She practiced medicine for 18 years, and in about 2007, I think, maybe a little bit before, my brother and I started noticing some changes. She was having some difficulty remembering things. And my dad was kind of in denial, but 2 years later, she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And so that was when I was sitting in my cubicle, working as an urban planner, and I realized that life is just way too short. I had something big in the back of my head, and my mom was 59 when she was diagnosed, and life, you're not guaranteed tomorrow. So I realized that I had to get moving. So I did what I could do. I have a background. I'm an athlete, lifelong athlete, ran track, cross country, soccer. So I started training people in parks on the side. And what I would do is, I still had a full-time job because I wasn't making any money from it. So I'd wake up in the morning at 4:45, ride my bike to the park, train some people, ride to work. At the end of the day, I would ride back to the park, train some more people, and then I had to stay fit, so I'd ride my bike to CrossFit. I'd do CrossFit, ride my bike back home, crash, wake up in the morning, and repeat the whole thing, which is not very sustainable. So I quickly put a website up. I did that for about 2 months. I quickly put a website up. I sold a Groupon, made enough money to hire a trainer, and actually started making some good money. So I started to convert some clients. But then I hit a wall. Well, first of all, I started making money. I quit my job, And I thought, all right, this is it. I have enough money to quit my job. Let's go for it. But then I quit my job, and I couldn't get more people. You know, Groupon clients are horrible. I didn't know how to get the good clients in. I didn't know how to actually make money. So I was struggling to figure out how I could succeed, and I took on a partnership. A friend or an acquaintance approached me and gave me a song and dance about how he could help me. It was what you might call a strategic partnership, but it was neither strategic nor a partnership. And it almost just destroyed my business. I managed to get out of that partnership, and I'll sort of stop talking about the partnership there, because like Thumper says, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. Also, I signed a non-disparagement agreement. I got out of the partnership, and now I still don't know what to do. You know, what was I doing wrong? I didn't know how to be profitable. My prices were way too low. I had clients who were paying $45 a month. I was closing sales by lowering the price. That's how I got people paying $45 a month. And I was paying a trainer, and I got to the point where I could not afford rent, which is not very fun. And this was my home for a little while. When I couldn't afford rent, I had to move out of my apartment, and I had a friend who was nice enough to let me live in her garage. It's not the nicest place to live, but it's better than being on the street. Let's see. Would have been better if I'd memorized this, probably. And during that time, you know, I was with my then girlfriend. I was just totally stressed out, just totally focusing on the business, trying to build Infusionsoft plays. Relationships were suffering. I wasn't talking to my dad. I wasn't talking to my family. My relationship with my girlfriend was just really suffering. And I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to this frustration, bitterness. It was just awful. And I was so stressed out that I felt like I was going bald. I was going to end up like Felix over here. And then November 1st, 2014, my life changed when I signed up for Grow Social. And a lot of these guys have said their life changed when they signed up for MPE, but I signed up for Grow Social, and I actually have not used Grow Social at all. I signed up for Grow Social. They sent me an email with a link to a YouTube video from the Dragon Door guy, and he was at an MPE conference, and there was a logo, MPE, and he was just freely sharing his method for bringing leads in. And I was like, what? Like, you know, what kind of group exists where you just give away your plan for bringing people in? So I tracked it down, I Googled it, and that was the day that everything started to get better. Found NPE, became a member. I talked to Stacy, as a lot of you have, and Stacy was ready to sign me up for Accelerator, and I said, no, just let's do the VIP. So I did it, and then life became unicorns and kittens and rainbows. Not really. There was, still some bumps in the road. But what MPE gave me, of course, sales and marketing. I didn't have sales and marketing. My sales were very informal. I got Groupon customers, and I tried to convert them to clients by selling them really low. But I started getting my trainers to sell for me. I had marketing systems. Imagine that. Conversion rate skyrocketed, and I'll talk about that later. And I started hiring employees, which was a game changer. the biggest thing that came early on was raise the rates. And my coach, Mark Norton, told me to do raise the rates pretty early on when I started, and it's pretty scary. So it took me, I think he told me in maybe December, and I think I sent the letters out in like February. But it was a total game changer. It elevated the quality of my clients. So Groupon clients are paying $40 for an unlimited month, and they're taking all my time. They're asking for extra things. And then I'm selling people at a higher price point, and they're totally committed. They're totally bought in. They expect results from themselves. It was an amazing shift. So a big picture view of what MPE brought to the table. MPE makes what seems impossible totally possible. This weasel had a system. So it gave me hope. It convinced me that I could be successful. It gave me the clear path to success. The encouragement and the fellowship and the environment, the Facebook group. I mean, you guys know I'm posting on there 10 times a day. But I'm asking high-level questions, and I'm getting high-level answers within an hour. That does not exist anywhere else. It's incredible. That's worth the price of entry. And it's given me the tools and the mindset to get where I need to be. My numbers, just briefly want to share where I've gotten to. I went from 1 location when I started to 4. My membership increased 40%. I tripled my revenue. Thank you to Christo and his Fit Lean. In 1 month, from May to June this year, I tripled from about a little over 5,000 to over 17,000 per month. Again, thanks to the Fit Lean, I went from a handful of leads a month to 5 to 12 per day. I don't even know if 20% is accurate because I didn't keep track. But I went from a conversion rate that really sucked to between 80% and 90%, something that you can count on. And my average client value jumped. Revenue increased 500%. And I just want to pause because this is my life before MPE. But I'll go back because I did all this myself. So my life before MPE brought me to this point where I had all these systems in place and I could do all these sales. But then I did all this myself, and it took me right back to my life before MPE. Frustration, relationship suffering, stress. I got to the point where I actually almost broke up with my girlfriend at the time. Well, we did break up. We broke up for a little while. And that sucked. I was totally alone. I wasn't talking to my dad. I wasn't talking to my best friends. But MPE has this process of coming back, returning, following the instructions, returning to your core values. And I upgraded to pro, and I went and got to do a planning session with Sean and a small group of fellow MPE pros, and that was phenomenal. And I got back on track. I got back to where I was, where I needed to be. Now we're experiencing consistent growth. I have a balance again between business and personal life, and I'm much, much happier. I can turn off at 7 p.m. and stop thinking about business. When we go out to dinner, I don't have to have a little notebook next to me to write down Infusionsoft plays that come to my mind. And relationships are better. So there you go. That's my life after MPE. And my then girlfriend was gracious enough to take me back. And this is my grandmother's ring. And she's got a placeholder ring on right now, but I proposed to her, and lucky me, she said yes. And so she'll be wearing my grandmother's ring. So my reason way, or my reason why, however you want to read it, I really want to follow in my mom's footsteps. It's preventative medicine. What we do is incredible stuff. You know, we help people's bodies and minds operate at a higher level. We lessen chance of chronic disease. I mean, this is powerful, really world-changing stuff. And I'm really proud to be doing it for a living and be in a group that lets me continue to do it. So thank you all very much.